All right, we're on to the rear linkage. So I'm going to start with the shock. Well, we got a moose kit again, right? Made in China special. So here's what comes in the kit. You've got your ground pins, right? 3 sizes, right? 1, 2, and 3 for the 2 that go in the link, and then the one that goes across in here. This one's actually different. Let's call this the wishbone for now, right? So it is the same diameter. This one's it's quite a bit less weight. I'm actually going to reuse this one instead of replacing it because I dislike this one so much. I just don't want to add a bunch of weight. Not a bunch, but I don't want to add weight to my bike. And you can see that this one wasn't really that bad. So we're going to keep the Honda parts where we can keep the Honda parts. Speaking of that, I want to take a look at the seals. So in the Moose kit, comes with 6 seals. They're all the same. 2, 4, 6, right? Those seals replace this Honda seal right here. This seal is literally 2001, right? I'll go in the sun and show you something. Let's see. You can see that this seal is completely pliable, right? No cracks in it. I'm going to save these. I might actually reuse them because they're actually a better seal than the seals that come in the kit. So we'll see. We'll talk about that. Comes with 6 6 needle bearings, actually 7. So this kit is the kit that also comes with the lower shock bearing, and not all the kits come with that. So there you go. Those 6 are all identical. You know, you got 2 here, 2 here, and 2 there, right? Then it comes with these, well, they're the seal holders, or the seal inner races, right? It's 6 of these. This would be the 7th bearing that I already put in. It's right there. We'll handle the shock part separate. This is the seal for the shock. It looks just like this one. I kind of already installed it, right? And the thing about this, I installed this one backwards. Let me show you why. First of all, the bearing, when it's in there, right? This part comes with part of your kit, right? The inner race. Then it comes with these, right? This is the lower shock mount. So when it's in the bike, it'll be, God, come on, one-handing this stuff is horrible. You guys kind of get an idea, though. It'll be like that, right? That'll be inside there. All right. So this bearing right here, this is the original. It got mud and junk in it and turned out like that, right? Just dirty and nasty. Oh, my hand's freaking out. So look at this seal. This is the original Honda seal. It's super hard for some reason down here. I don't know. Maybe I used some, I don't know, bike degreaser or something that hardened that seal up. But if you look at the way it fits, this is why this one went bad. Right? It's just too loose. It doesn't bite the inner diameter at all. So that's why this bearing went bad. Now, the seal, this one, is supposed to go in there like that. That's how it originally goes in, right? So you can see the lip is designed to hold it. When it's in this way, the lip should be not allowing the dirt and stuff to go in that way, right? So it didn't work so well on this side. So using, you know, in this case I have to use the Moose seals because the other ones are so hammered. But I actually installed the seal backwards so the lip points outward. I don't know how it's going to work. I mean, it's not like there's any pressure. Like, you know, if this was a crankshaft seal or something, you had pressure behind the lip. But this doesn't, so we're going to try to have the face of the lip pointing outward so the dirt can't come inward. We'll see how it works. The other thing I don't like about it, I just don't like Chinese bearings. You know, that's just me. So, all right, yeah, that covers the lower shock. So that's going to go in like that. The bearing is pressed, and you have to center this bearing. So you notice you can't just go flush, right? This is the easiest one to get out because you can literally just take a driver or a socket and just drive it out, right? Because there's nothing on the backside. So I had to center it. I used a pair of calipers, but You know, you could use a small steel rule or something. You want to make sure that the distance between this face and this outside lip is the same on both sides. And then you're going to put a seal in there. And that seal looks like this seal. Then it's going to take one of these right here, like that. The other seal will go in. Oops. You'll put the spacer in right here. Then you'll put this one in with the seal like that. That'll be your lower bearing. The other ones you're just going to have to get the seal out. No big deal. You use a screwdriver. Get in behind it and just pry it up. Like that. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep the seals because they're very pliable. All right, one other tip when you're looking at the link or the fulcrum. So if we look at it straight up and down, just in case you guys forget, this one is the one that takes the washers. Let me pick that out for you. Right there, right? And those also come in the kit. They're right there. So don't forget that that's the only one that gets a washer right there, right? You take a look at it again from that height. This one, no washer. This one, washer. This is the lower shock mount. Has the unique, these, right? The other ones, they're all this style right here. This is the factory Honda ones, but they're all this style. All right. And just like before, you know, we're going to pack these with that Alco grease, which is right here. Same one we used on the swing arm pivots. If you guys didn't watch that, there's that video. There's the company. They're awesome. They're in Canoga Park, California. This grease, like I said before, is made for, was originally designed for Abram tank pins. So we're just going to pack this bearing. One other thing, if you've got an original bike, because there's a lot of those coming out of the woodwork now. So remember, like I said before, you take the grease, slide it in with your finger, and then push down. All right, and then you see how it's packing in there, right? If you have an original bike, these original bearings were, you see, you can hear it. You can barely hear it that time. It's getting too full of grease now. You'll hear it squeeze out right there. You can hear the air squeeze out of the bearing. You look inside and you can see that I missed a spot, right? So that's all pretty good. And then right there, I missed that spot. So if you have an original bike, and it seems like a lot of the guys nowadays are pulling these things out of the, out of the woodwork, or out of the barns and garages and all these places that these CRs have been hiding. You can, this goes a lot easier with one hand, with two hands too, instead of trying to one hand this thing. The original bikes came with a very light grease in the pivots, and you're supposed to do this quite often. So there you go. Let's take a look at it. So the original bikes came with a very light grease, pretty much like the grease that came in. All right, so yeah, pretty much the grease like this. I just unpackaged one more bearing. You can see how light duty that grease is. So that's what comes in these bikes originally. So you definitely want to change that out if you've got an older bike, and maybe you can save some of these parts, instead of having to do this. So one other mistake I made, so I packed it. Then you can put the bearing in, literally push it in with your thumbs, right? It's that simple. The problem is when you're going to put the inner race in there, it doesn't fit. So I'm going to have to pull that one back out. All right, so literally just popped it out, with a screwdriver, just like the last time. Stick it in there, and a little pry, and it came right out. So then you put the bearing inner race in, right? Remember what we were talking about too much grease everywhere? Don't want to do that. because grease attracts dirt, right? Dirt gets in bearings. They are not the friends of bearings. So see how easy this seal is to get in? There you go. It's installed. So that rides inside there. What we're going to do is clean off the grease after. See how it all pushed out this side? And then we're going to install that. Just like that, right? When the other side's in, they'll both be flush. That's the lower shock mount. So we clean it up. You guys understand that. Get rid of all the grease. All right, this is exactly what you want. You notice, guys, there's so much grease in there that it's coming out all the way up to the seal. So we're going to take this, that one in this side, just pushes in. You can feel it go over the lip. Clean up this one real quick. Notice the grease is all the way up there, so the water can't get in where the grease is. It's just going to look like that, right? There's no grease up in here because, like I said, you get grease down inside here. It attracts dirt, and it'll just work its way in. So that's our lower shock mount. Like I said, we're actually just going to clean up the seals, repack this one. We're going to use this lever. The bearings that are in this lever are the original Honda stuff. And then these ones, we're going to replace them with the mousse. Don't forget the washer goes in this one. And I'm actually going to look at these. I know they look really nasty, but I started playing around with this one a little bit. Let me show you something. So if you look, there's marks where the needle sat, but when you feel it, and your fingers can feel like 10 thousandths, I mean, not 10 thousandths, 10 thousandths, and there's no scarring. You can see it, but there's nothing there. So this side, it looks like there's a lot of crap. Oh, no, never mind. See how it's pitted right there? As soon as you see pits, you're done. We're not going to be able to save it. So that's just corrosion. Dirt got in there and got past the seal. You can see where the seal rides right here, and the dirt got through right there. So you see right here, the seal maintained its contact. There was no dirt got by. So it just worked its way in here also, and then just killed that pin. So yeah, thought I could reuse it. Guess not. All right, guys, subscribe, like, or dislike. Provide some comments or some feedback, whatever. And then, that's my take on the Moose kit. And we'll check back in the next part of this thing.